Welcome back to The Explainer. Let's jump right in today because we're tracing the evolution of, well, one of the most recognized and absolutely one of the most controversial figures in the modern world. Love him or hate him, few people have shaped American politics quite like Donald Trump. We're going to examine his incredible, totally norm-shattering journey across three entirely different arenas. So how exactly did a real estate mogul become president of the United States? It's a pretty fascinating evolution to track. I mean, we're talking about a highly visible metamorphosis from a New York property developer to a massive television celebrity, literally all the way to the White House. It's a trajectory that defied almost every conventional expectation in American history. To understand this journey, we've broken it down into 6 distinct chapters. First, building a real estate empire. Second, setbacks and the comeback. Third, becoming a TV celebrity. Fourth, the 2016 political shockwave. Fifth, the 45th president. And finally, a changed political landscape. Okay, let's dive into this and trace this metamorphosis step by step. Chapter 1, Building a Real Estate Empire. Donald John Trump was born in Queens, New York in 1946. His father, Fred Trump, was already a really successful real estate developer. And from a very young age, Donald was completely immersed in the business. Actually, he was already working with his father's company while he was still in college. After military school, he graduated from UPenn with a degree in economics, and in the 1970s, he formally joins the family business. But as you'll see, he quickly realized he had much, much bigger ambitions. He executed this massive strategic pivot. Instead of focusing on the middle-class housing projects his dad was known for, he set his sights entirely on high-profile Manhattan real estate. He starts developing luxury hotels, gleaming office towers, casinos, high-end apartment buildings, the whole shebang. The absolute crown jewel of this era was Trump Tower. Opening in 1983 and famous for its flamboyant 60-foot indoor waterfall, it perfectly emphasized his shift toward high-end luxury. By the 1980s, this strategy had turned his name into a global symbol of wealth. He wasn't just a local developer anymore, right? His name was a widely recognized brand. Chapter 2, Setbacks and the Comeback. Now, success absolutely did not come without severe challenges. During the 1990s, this newly built empire was suddenly under serious financial threat. Several of his businesses struggled, and key properties, like the massive Taj Mahal casino in Atlantic City, actually filed for bankruptcy protection. At the time, plenty of critics and financial analysts firmly believed his career was completely finished. But he executed a really meticulous recovery. First, he systematically restructured his immense debt. Then, he negotiated new, aggressive business deals. And critically, through it all, he never stopped aggressively building his brand in the public eye. This era birthed the crucial theme of the comeback. Weathering this intense financial storm actually ended up solidifying his personal brand in a totally new way. It strengthened his image in the public consciousness as a tough survivor, right? A businessman who could navigate and ultimately overcome incredibly difficult situations. He literally codified this exact narrative for the public in his 1997 best-selling book, The Art of the Comeback, cementing this resilient persona. Chapter 3, Becoming a TV Celebrity. You're fired. It's a phrase almost everyone knows. In 2004, he became the star of the reality TV show The Apprentice. Each week, contestants would aggressively compete for business opportunities. And starring in this show was, well, a masterstroke. It brought his specific brand of cutthroat business competition straight into the living rooms of millions of Americans. It was a massive, undisputed success. The first season finale drew over 28 million viewers. That is a massive audience. The Apprentice successfully evolved public perception in a really profound way. For millions of people, he was no longer just a wealthy developer building towers in New York. He was a mainstream pop culture icon. That transition from a businessman to a household celebrity fundamentally altered his public identity and massively expanded his reach. Chapter 4, The 2016 Political Shockwave. Fast forward to 2015. After years of commenting on political issues from the sidelines, he leveraged that massive celebrity brand and officially announced his campaign for President of the United States. His platform focused heavily on major hot-button issues: strict immigration enforcement, renegotiating international trade, and bringing back domestic jobs. He tapped directly into working-class anxieties regarding globalization, all anchored by a slogan that would quickly become ubiquitous around the world: "Make America Great Again." Now, when he announced, many political experts completely dismissed his chances. To the traditional political establishment, the idea of a man with zero political experience defeating lifelong, highly experienced politicians from both the Republican and Democratic parties, it simply didn't make sense to them. His unconventional candidacy defied every unwritten rule of modern politics. But then came Election Day 2016, one of the most surprising elections in American history. He faced former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton, and most polls confidently predicted a Clinton victory. Yet his outsider message had attracted millions of deeply passionate supporters. A businessman and TV personality won enough electoral votes to reach the White House, famously shattering the Democratic blue wall by flipping states like Michigan, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin. It sent a literal shockwave through political analysts everywhere. Chapter 5: The 45th President. So from 2017 to 2021, the real estate mogul and reality star actually served in the Oval Office. During his 4 years, his administration heavily prioritized sweeping domestic and foreign policy changes. His term focused intensely on implementing major tax legislation, specifically the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act of 2017. He also pushed for widespread deregulation across multiple industries, enforced strict immigration policies, and completely renegotiated major international trade agreements, replacing NAFTA with the USMCA. As you might remember, the reaction to his presidency was intensely polarized. Supporters strongly praised his economic policies and deeply resonated with his America First approach to governing. On the flip side, critics fiercely challenged many of his decisions, his rhetoric, and his highly unconventional leadership style. His presidency generated constant headlines and intense political debate every single day. Few presidents in American history have divided public opinion quite as strongly and consistently as he did. Then came the 2020 election, where he lost the presidency to Joe Biden. And many once again believed his political career was over. But that survivor theme we saw back in the 1990s, it returned in full force. He remained highly influential within American politics. He continued holding massive rallies, retaining very strong voter support, and maintaining significant, unprecedented influence over his party even after leaving office. Chapter 6: A Changed Political Landscape. So the crucial point is, regardless of whether people support him or oppose him, his overall impact is completely undeniable. He absolutely transformed the way political campaigning is done. He fundamentally changed how politicians use media, pioneering the unprecedented use of direct-to-consumer social media, like Twitter, to just bypass the traditional press and speak instantly to the public. He reshaped the entire national debate on immigration, trade, and foreign policy. And, importantly, he energized millions of voters who previously felt totally ignored by traditional politics. To summarize this incredible multi-decade trajectory, Donald Trump's journey is simply one of the most remarkable stories in modern America. From a real estate developer building in New York, to a universally recognized television celebrity, to the President of the United States. His rapid rise challenged entrenched political norms and undeniably changed the course of American history. Which leaves us with this final, provocative question. How will future generations remember Donald Trump? When the history books are written decades from now, will he be remembered primarily as a businessman, a celebrity, a president, or some unprecedented combination of all three? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. If you enjoyed this deep dive, please like, subscribe, and let us know what topic you'd like us to explain next.